So we need to start this video talking about this target listing for Game of Thrones by Bethesda, and this is not the evidence that this video will be concentrating on because that appears to be fake or a hoax. Target themselves have come out and commented on this, saying that this was done in error, and Bethesda Softworks Vice President Pete Hines would not comment at all on this, which is nothing new as he has denied talking about any and all kinds of rumors in the past. It's also been found that it's actually quite easy to make a fake Target page, but even if this was real, Target would deny this no matter what. Anyway, since we now have that out of the way, as most of you know, a few days ago we discussed why Bethesda Game Studios probably is making a secret Game of Thrones open world RPG, which is fueled by comments that Bethesda Game Studios director and executive producer Todd Howard made in the past. Missed that video? Check it out. This Target hoax weirdly followed a day later after this video, and then some other past insider details began to gain traction and attention, and that is from an apparent Bethesda Game Studios employee who goes by a secret name Cellulard, who claimed in early June 2017 that after Starfield releases, which is Bethesda Game Studios' next rumored RPG, they were making an open world RPG based on Game of Thrones, and he also revealed quite a few more details about this game, which is what we're going to break down today. But first we need to talk about why this information was ignored, and this goes back to his claims that at E3 2017 Bethesda Game Studios was supposed to announce and reveal Starfield. He also claimed that Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim VR would be announced, which they were. Now after this event, people began trying to discredit him, and some just ignored him because Starfield did not show up. And he pretty much replied to this saying that Bethesda scrapped Starfield's reveal at the last second, and it can be seen with all the residual effects, which he may be right about because looking back at the event, there was a strange space theme throughout which ended up being there for no reason at all. Also, let's not forget this event was extremely short and Bethesda hyped it up as if some huge announcement was to be made. Sure, Wolfenstein the New Colossus and The Evil Within 2 were revealed, but that was expected. Either way, another insider, Tidux, who's known for a lot of PlayStation stuff, was shocked by Starfield not showing up, saying that it was supposed to be revealed at this event. Now, some of you may be asking, why does this even matter? And the answer is because Cellular claimed that Bethesda Game Studios' next title after Starfield is in fact a Game of Thrones title. He says that HBO and ZeniMax have a secret deal in place, which probably confirms it will be based on the TV series, although I still hope it's a prequel story, maybe based on the events of Robert's Rebellion. Cellular's claims didn't end there because he says that Bethesda's Game of Thrones is in full pre-production right now, and after Starfield and its DLC is released, the game will go into full development, which probably would slate it for a release around a year after Season 8, which is the last season of Game of Thrones, and I think that makes a lot of sense. Cellulard also added that this is only happening because George R.R. Martin's team reached out again, but this time with HBO. If you are unaware, as Todd Howard confirmed in 2011, George R.R. Martin's team reached out before the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim was in development and asked them if they would make a game based on the books of A Song of Ice and Fire, which Game of Thrones is based on, but at the time Bethesda wanted to make their own world. But as Todd Howard said initially, they reacted with excitement, saying quote unquote, "We want to do that. People in our studio liked it, and it seeped in a bit to what we were doing." Todd continues on, adding, "Before we were even making Skyrim, there was a conversation with George R.R. Martin's people. They thought it would be a good match, and so did we. Actually, but then we thought about if that was where we wanted to spend our time." It was tempting though. In these last few days, it was revealed that Obsidian Entertainment passed on an opportunity to make a Game of Thrones open world RPG in 2005 because they wanted to make it into a real-time strategy game, which I'm guessing is why we got Cyanide's below average RPG in 2012. Cellulard goes on saying that it was really ZeniMax, Bethesda's parent company, who enforced this deal mainly due to the extreme popularity that has come to this franchise. Now, Cellulard did give some huge details on the game, saying it will be primarily first person, but it's meant to be more realistic in its combat. Think Mount & Blade 2 or Chivalry Medieval Warfare, but more responsible and fun. It's going to also feature the darkest themes in a Bethesda game. It's a very serious game. It's a lot less lighthearted than some of our other games may be. Cellulard would continue adding a ton of other details I can dive into another day, mainly on the future of Fallout, Starfield, and the Elder Scrolls. What he has said so far does seem to make sense in my opinion. The main thing against his claims at this point was that Starfield was not shown, but as he said days before E3 2017, replying to someone asking why Bethesda was debating on revealing Skyrim VR only days before the event, Cellulard said, "You have to make changes on the fly based on what the team/superiors think is correct for press conferences. So looking at the whole Red Dead Redemption 2 to E3 2016 ordeal in which Colin Moriarty claimed it was supposed to be revealed on Sony's stage, things happen and sometimes we know about it, and most of the time, teams deny ever intending an announcement. With HBO's Game of Thrones coming to an end soon, this franchise is at its height of popularity right now, which is why it makes sense for HBO and George R.R. Martin to capitalize on that. So making a video game with Bethesda Game Studios, who broke sales records with the release of Fallout 4, makes a lot of sense to me. As someone who felt mixed on Fallout 4, what makes Game of Thrones or A Song of Ice and Fire so unique to me is the dialogue, interactions, politics, twists among characters. Something that we have not seen in a Bethesda Game Studios title yet, and if this really is happening, Bethesda has a lot to prove. Anyway guys, what do you make of Cellular's claims, and do you think Bethesda Game Studios is really making a secret Game of Thrones title? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, but if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, make sure to smack that like button, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all Bethesda Game Studios upcoming games, and I'll see you later.